Flosstube friends, welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 1. It is October 20th. This is my very first Flosstube video. This is very outside of my comfort zone, so please bear with me. I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes. I have some notes here to hopefully keep me from forgetting anything, so if I'm looking down, that's why. My name is Amanda Corbett. I'm the lady behind Starlight Stitching Co. My husband and 5-year-old daughter live, and I, of course, live in Leavenworth, Kansas. We've lived in this house for about 18 years. We also have 2 little dogs and a cat named Lulu. I'm sure I will be shooing her off of the table multiple times. Let's see. I've always loved to do a variety of different crafts. I've always loved to make things ever since I was a child, as gifts mostly, and just about anything. I'm not afraid to try much. I've done crochet, jewelry making, stained glass, card making, dabbled a little bit in scrapbooking, wasn't really a fan. Then got into quilting and embroidery and cross stitch. More recently, I've focused more into the fiber arts, so I've done quilting for, well, since about 2009, and I love to quilt. I just don't get very much time anymore. About a year and a half ago, I started Starlight Stitching Co., and I sell cross-stitch clutches. This is one that was from our summer Clutch Club box. Really cute swimsuits. So it has this large vinyl pouch. Inside is also a separate pocket that's perfect for keeping your zippers in. Oh my goodness. Scissors in, to keep your scissors in so they don't get tangled with your floss. And on the inside is a large thread bed and a piece of felt to park an extra needle, or to park your needle when you're not stitching. The idea for this really was a slow evolution. When I got into cross stitching, I started using one of the little like Lori Holt design boards, but my floss kept falling off all over the place and I couldn't find my scissors, and I have a small child, so I'm constantly having to put away my stuff, and it was taking a long time to get out and get set up. I'm usually stitching on the go. We go camping a lot. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You know, I just don't get like a solid 2 hours to stitch. That just doesn't happen. So I need to be able to put stuff away quickly, get it out quickly, and not have it be in a big mess. So I was using the design board. It was always hard to find my floss. So then I saw somebody was making basically just like a thread bed that closed, and that was it. And like, great, that holds my thread ends. But the rest of my skeins of floss, or bobbins, whichever the case may be, were still lost and loose in the bottom of my project bag. And so were the scissors. And it was like impossible to find my scissors every time. And I had the thought one of the times when I was camping that, well, what if I had a pocket on the outside of it that could hold my floss? So I made one, tried it, then had another idea. What if I had another place that I could put my scissors so they're not getting tangled and they're not getting lost or dropped on the ground or in the bottom of the bag? So about 6 or 7 iterations, I finally came up with this, and it was a winner. So about a year and a half ago is when I started Starlight Stitching Co., and I've been making them as fast as I can ever since. I also, by day, am a mechanical designer for a custom heating element company that's local here. I used to work for them full-time. Now I work for them part-time from home and also homeschool my daughter. So let's see, how did I get into stitching? Fun. The first cross stitch I ever did was a Dimensions Circle of Wolves. I don't have it with me. It was a gift from my brother, so I will add a photo onto the screen. The second cross stitch piece that I finished, well, I haven't finished it clearly, is Winter Cardinals. This is my oldest whip. I've probably had this going since 2006, maybe. I mean, my goodness, that's really despicable. I got lost somewhere around here with things being miscounted and put it down, and it's been in timeout, and I came back more recently and started adding this easy read grid. What is it called? Easy count guideline. Oh my goodness, I should be able to remember that. Can you see that? There we go. It's kind of like a red fishing line, and you just stitch it in the grid that's on your pattern and leave it in there and do all your stitching, and then when you're done you pull it out. It's great. So I need to finish that, the gridding, and then maybe I can get back to stitching it and hopefully get this finished. It is not on the plans anytime soon, but it would be nice. Lulu has been playing with it and almost lost my needle, so let me tuck this away. The next big project, or cross-stitch project that I did, this one actually is a finish, is this stocking for my daughter. My daughter's name is Sophie. Not Sophia, just Sophie. So this kit was given to me as a Christmas gift in 2016, the Christmas before she was born, and I finished it for her 3rd Christmas. It took me a little while. So much like the cardinals, I just started stitching and got lost, things got off. Then I went back and added the guideline, easy count guideline, and it seemed to fly by after that point. So there's lots of detail, full coverage. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I mean, there's a couple of spots that aren't full coverage. There's like a little bit here and a little bit here and a little strip right here that's not full coverage, but the rest of it is all stitching. So that took some time. And then I followed the tutorial from Nell at Little Yellow House Crafts for how to finish the stocking. So it's got a quilted back, fully lined with green, my daughter's favorite color. Let me tell you, as a crafter, all my life I have struggled to work with the color green. So of course I am blessed with a beautiful daughter who absolutely loves green, so now I'm forced to work with it. But either way, I love the stocking. I love pulling it out every year. I do have kits to make me and my husband different stockings, but I just haven't started it yet. After finishing this big piece, I needed something smaller to work on, so I dove into the world of smaller cross-stitch patterns. That's it for how I got started stitching. We're not going to go through the whole collection of everything I've stitched in the past because, first of all, most of them probably aren't finished. There's a box down here on a shelf that has a bunch of finished stitches, but not fully finished stitches. Maybe we'll get into those some other time. This is a recent finish. This is Autumn Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This and the next 2 pieces are stitched on Queen Anne's Lace 14 Count Ada by Witchell, and that I ordered from Fat Quarter Shop. I'll get a close up here. I used as close to the called for colors as I could. I didn't have all of them on hand. I don't have a full collection of DMC yet. That's a goal. So I did switch around some of the colors. So I added this teal color here, which is Shamrock from Classic Colorworks. And I didn't have the right orange, so I used Colonial Copper from Classic Colorworks. And then I just rearranged some of the colors. Like, I know this line of leaves here was supposed to be 2 alternating colors all the way across, but I wanted a mix of colors. I absolutely love fall and love seeing the leaves change colors. So I wanted them all to be represented there. And on this little acorn here, you can see I made 3 different colors. That is to represent an acorn that me and my daughter found camping a couple of years ago at Mark Twain State Park. It had 2 shades of green and 2 shades of brown all within the same acorn, and it was gorgeous. And on the bottom, I have this little acorn bell that I've had in my stash forever. It probably came from Hobby Lobby. I finished it with some ribbon that came from Hobby Lobby. I also took one of the leaves from down here and stitched it on a scrap of fabric and made a little covered button for the center of the bow. The stitching, I put some fusible interfacing on the back just to protect the stitching, then cut it out to the size I wanted. I stitched together some fabric scraps. These all came from past Cross Stitch Clutch collections, so that's kind of neat to see several different ones represented here. And I just sewed them together, sewed the back, left a little opening, turned it right side out, stitched it closed, then appliqued the stitching on, so I ironed it on and then zigzag stitched around the edge. Then I sewed down this teal ribbon, and then I hand stitched this gold cording all the way around the edge. And here it is. I absolutely love it. I want to stitch their Christmas rules. I also would like to stitch their hive rules, and I'll probably finish them in a similar way because I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. Next is, what is this? Pumpkin Kisses. Pumpkin Kisses by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Same fabric, same floss. I also stitched another leaf for another covered button. That's something that's the same on all three pieces. I added it to this little standing pumpkin piece that I picked up at a local pharmacy. Super cute. I also have Welcome Autumn, which I finished into a little dough bowl. Well, actually, it's not that little, is it? A dough bowl pillow. Just using some fabrics that I had on hand. Same color, same fabric, same ribbon, another covered button. Actually, oh, dropped it. This isn't even totally finished. I still need to sew up the back. Have to get on that. So that's it for previous finishes. Whips. This is a recent whip and a finish. Yay me. This is Rudolph by Century Farm Stitching from the Just Cross Stitch 2022 Ornament Magazine. And it is stitched on a 14 count Opal Essence Ada that I dyed using Aquamarine. And then I just wrapped it around a piece of foam board, some scrap fabric around a piece of foam board, and glued some pom-pom trim onto the sides, some ribbon for a hanger, and a little bow to coordinate. I'd like to find like a snowflake button to stick right here because I think that would be perfect. But it's just so pretty. I love the little Rudolph. So cute. Next, for whips, I have this fairy pattern. It came from Etsy. I will link it below. So it's just a silhouette. And this is how far I've gotten. This is on a printed fabric that I also got off of Etsy. I will link the shop. I will link the shop below. And I am stitching this in the DMC Glow in the Dark floss. So if I can, I'll add a picture in here of it glowing in the dark because I think it's going to look really neat. Next, I have a little bitty start. Trying not to show the pattern. It is Christmas in Pink, and it is by Curie Batakuri on Etsy. I will also link her shop below. This is stitched on, what is this stitched on? Excuse me. Pardon me. Talk amongst yourselves while I figure it out. Okay. And I've got such a little bitty start after all that effort figuring out what the fabric is. Witch Old 18 count Ada, silver white, that I dyed with aquamarine dye. So my little bitty start here is a present. One present and a snowflake. It's the present right there on the sleigh and the stripes for the next one on top of it. So I really need to get on this one because I'm hoping to give this as a Christmas gift this year. So this one will definitely have to come out some more. Give me a second while I put all this away. Don't want to get anything mixed up. My next whip is, of course, Autumn Rules by Lori Holt. I purchased the pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and I will link it below. And I am stitching this on Charles Craft 28 count even weave Lugana that is in the color Tea Dyed. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna iron every single time I do a Flosstube video. I know I probably should, but it doesn't get ironed until it gets finished. But here we are. So you can tell right off the bat, I made a color change. I am using all of the called for colors, but I chose to make the house blue instead of the pale gray that was on the pattern because this particular blue almost perfectly matches the color of my house. So I made the house blue. I changed the shutters to white. I kept the door the same. Kind of regretting it, kind of wishing I made the door white. Oh well, it's already done. And now I am working on the stars that go around the edge. Also, instead of the gray for the borders, I'm using white for all of the borders. And it just shows up really nicely on this tea-dyed even weave Lugana. I love this. I want to get it done and have it hung up, but I have Christmas stuff to get done. So this one probably will not get pulled out as much as I would like. The next whip that I have is this Satsuma Street tree topper ornament. It's on perforated paper. And I've got just a little start on the beard. You can see I tucked my needle in the corner of the paper out of the way. I'm using all the colors that came in the kit. I've got them all hanging here on my Starlight Stitching Co. I Heart Cross Stitch Floss Keeper. This came in the October Clutch Club box, so that's one sneak peek if you have a box on the way to you. Let's see, I think that does it for whips. Let me tuck everything out of the way real quick here. Now, for haul, I have got some haul. I really do. I just got in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I want to make these. Look at these adorable, they're three-dimensional trees. You stitch them and then you form it into a cone. I don't know how you're supposed to do that, but I want to try. So that may be in my future. I also have Hilda Boo. I saw Tiger Lily Designs recently finish this, and I absolutely loved it and immediately went and ordered the pattern. That's probably one to get done for next year. I also found Sweater Weather. I'm pretty sure I ordered this from Annabella's. Super cute design, but what got me is the little dogs. Do you see the little wiener dogs? So the two dogs that I have, one is Buddy. He's a miniature dachshund, miniature beagle mix, but he's long like a dachshund. And then a miniature dachshund named Sassy. So I just could not resist the fall pattern with the leaves and the words and the birds and those two adorable little dachshunds in there. So that'll be something to stitch up for next fall. This beautiful Joy and Good Cheer by Brenda Gervais. Try to get the glare out of there with that lovely snowman and the cardinal. It's just so pretty. I don't know when I'm going to stitch all these. I could keep myself busy full time for a couple of years in my craft room without any help at all. This is Kind and Gentle Woodland Holiday Sampler. I have never done a sampler before, but this looks really fun. And just look at those cute little bunnies and the deer and the cardinal. Ugh, I just love it. Then I also recently got this candy corn and pumpkin. It was so adorable. I can't remember who it was I saw that had stitched it. Maybe it was White House Stitchery. I watch their Flosstube pretty regularly, so maybe it was them. I don't know. But it was such a cute pattern. I went and got it on Etsy right away. So I will link the shop that I got this from. I also got in a couple of Mill Hill kits for ornaments. So this is Snowman with Cardinal and Santa ornament. And then this Dimensions Gold Collections Twilight Angel. Super pretty. Then I also got, because that's not all, from 141 Design Company, I got the Tiny Town, all 4 patterns. So, Patriotic, Big Hearted, Halloween, Christmas, and the finishing piece from Chantel's 141 Design Company. Again, I don't know when I'm going to stitch it, but I have to because it's just so adorable. So it has to be added into the pile. And then I also recently got in from Scarlet Sky Designs this adorable pumpkin backer. Look at how cute this is. With this plaid here. And it's 2 pieces. So I just need to paint it up. And I think I'm going to stain this piece and glue it together and then find something to put on it. Stitch something to put on it. Then I also got, let's see if I can arrange these pieces right. Maybe I should have taken the time to paint it beforehand. So this is a little Halloween house with a little web and the cat finishing piece. Absolutely adorable. So that's my haul. For cross stitch haul. Anyway. I also got some really fun decor recently. So this is from Teal and Orange Handmade. Very cute. She posts on Instagram regularly. When she has sales, it's all handmade. Very nice quality. She makes these beautiful felt flowers. And these have some really fancy buttons in them. I think most of them are, you know, one of a kind, or she only makes a handful. So you have to pay attention to when she has sales because she makes the most beautiful decor. I've got several of her pieces. So I will link that for you as well. Okay. So that's all my whips. That's all my haul. Plans for next time. Plans for near future. I want to finish the fairy. I want to work on a couple of ornaments because in previous years I would get each person in my family, so myself, my husband, and my daughter, a Hallmark ornament every year to represent some interests throughout the year or a memory from the year. But this year instead, I decided that I wanted to stitch an ornament instead. I felt that maybe that would have just a little bit more meaning than something that was made in China and bought from a store. So I want to work on some Christmas ornaments. I've got a couple picked out. I want to work on Christmas in pink. I also want to work on Christmas rules. So I got this one kitted up. This is in a bag from Fat Quarter Shop from the Stitch Quarterly. I just printed off the PDF copy of the pattern. So cute. I really want to stitch this. Cornhusker State Stitcher is having a sale that starts October 29th. They're using the hashtag Christmas Rules SAL, and I want to participate in that as much as I can. I am going to be stitching on this absolutely gorgeous 32 count raw gold Belfast linen. Isn't that beautiful? So mine will end up being a little bit smaller because I'm stitching on 32 count over 2, so that's going to be like 16 count. And I changed up all the colors. Mostly because I am reorganizing all my DMC to be on bobbins, so I can try to get an entire collection of DMC, and right now it's an absolute mess to try to find specific colors, and I didn't want to dig through all that. So I went into my Classic Colorworks collection and picked out these colors to use instead. So I've got the Weeks Dye Works Cocoa that's called for. I've got English Ivy, Baking Tin, I'm trying to read backwards through the tag, it's just not working, Bean Sprout, Ribbon Red, Black Coffee, and Bamboo. And for the orange, that's DMC 722. I'll probably just pull out the closest DMC that I have. The only place that's used is in the noses of the snowmen, so I think that'll be okay. But let's see if I can do this. Maybe not. These colors on that fabric, ugh, I just want to get started. I want to start this right away. I don't want to wait. Yeah, we'll see if I make it that long. So that is in my plans. I also need to finish up the clutches from the October 15th release and get those shipped out and get started on the ones for the next release. So I might have a preview video so you can see them on camera before the next release, because again, sometimes the colors don't come across right in the photos no matter how hard I try. So yeah, I think that's it for plans. I do plan on having giveaways in the future, but I figured for Flosstube #1 that I would just jump in without giveaways for right now, and we'll add that in later when I actually have a few followers. We'll see how this goes. It should be fun. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions or suggestions or tips for a brand new Flosstuber. I am always willing to learn, and thank you to everyone who has ordered from my shop. You are truly helping me support my family at this point, so I am really grateful. So that's it for today. Have a fabulous day. Have a fabulous weekend coming up, and I hope you get some stitching in. Thank you for stopping by.